Kempire is brought to you by. We are so excited to announce that the Kempire After Dark Alive Tour is coming back. We are first returning to Los Angeles on November 20th at the Bourbon Room. And then we will be in London. Yes, the first international date of the Kempire After Dark Live experience is coming to London, of course, because this is where it all began at our first meet and greet. On December 8th, we will be at Neon 194. This live show is presented by our friends over at AEG. So if you haven't gotten your tickets already, what are you waiting for? December is right around the corner. Every Kempire After Dark live experience is so different than the other. So make a trip, or if you live in London, come to the Kempire After Dark live experience. And just announced, Washington, D.C., we're coming back. We're coming back. Yes, we're coming back to Union Stage, Washington, D.C. Come out. Get your tickets are now available. Let's sell out all 3 shows for 2024 and the early part of 2025. We'll be in D.C. on January 24th. More information on all tour dates will be available in the description. I'll see you guys soon. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Hello. hello. Right? Oh, goodness. All right. So I did not plan to go live, but I saw that Tamron Hall had uploaded the interview that she did with former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore. And I said, I think maybe I should go live and talk about it. And for us to listen and react to this interview, you may have seen I did do a short video talking about this clip that came out where Kenya shows ownership for what went down at her own hair care spa grand opening, which was being filmed for season 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you were at our Kempire After Dark Atlanta show, we already confirmed. People that were there came to my show and confirmed, yeah, what she did, what was being said she did. Okay? Well, Kenya Moore, for a while, allowed rumors to spread, and they're just conflicting rumors to spread, stating that that's not what happened. Gaslighting the audience, basically saying that's just a rumor, that's not what happened. She did not get herself involved in revenge porn. We're going to unpack that. We're going to listen to this interview with Tamron Hall, and we're going to unpack it. So I will be stopping and starting, okay? I will be stopping and starting. All right? But before we do that, we got to say thank you to our friends over at Uncommon Goods. The holiday season is officially here, and I know you need a discount. I know you need gift ideas, and Uncommon Goods got you covered. All right. So spark something uncommon this holiday season with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible handpicked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They scour the globe for original, handmade, absolutely remarkable things. Somehow they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know. You know, I've tried it out. You know, I had to get you a discount. So to get 50% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Kempire. That's uncommongoods.com/Kempire for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. More information on Uncommon Goods, and they're sponsoring of tonight's special Kempire After Dark live experience will be available in the description. Speaking of the Kempire After Dark live experience, don't forget, I will be coming to Los Angeles, the Bourbon Room in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard. I didn't know there was that many bourbon rooms in LA. We're going to be coming to the Bourbon Room next week. So if you want me to go talk the real talk on this Kenya stuff, come to that show, okay? Come to that show. Then we're going to London. December 8th, we'll be in London. Get your tickets for that show if you're in London or near London or will be in London, want to be in London. You have options. And then we're coming back to DC in January 24th, 2025, okay? Make sure you check out the description for more details on how you can experience the Kempire After Dark live experience. It's not like this. You're going to get a Kempire After Dark experience right now, but it's a little different in person, okay? All right. Back to this. So, you know, when the news broke that Kenya Moore had allegedly, I'm going to still say allegedly because she's still somewhat denying it, but admitting it. Okay. She admits it, but at the same time makes excuses for it. Okay. And you, of course, I'm going to drop the call in so you guys can share your opinions, because I feel like a lot of you have strong opinions on this. And if you're part of the replay crew, feel free to share your opinions. But as always, we don't moderate adults. So Team Twirl, see Sunseckle. Anyways. So when this all went down, media takeout for one of the rare times in all life, okay, actually had the story right that Kenya Moore used her grand opening during filming to share explicit photos of Brittany Edie, the newbie, RHOA newbie, at her grand opening. Explicit photos. We don't know what the explicit photos are. Rumors has it was with Brittany Edie with a eggplant in her mouth. Not the actual eggplant, but use your imagination, okay? So that was the rumor. Media takeout was the first. Then multiple sources started coming out. And then people started reacting. Eric Robinson, a photographer who was in attendance, reacted on social media, then deleted that. Drew Sidora reacted on social media. We also learned, this is where you got to come to the Kempire After Dark live experience, because you probably didn't know this. I don't remember if I even shared this on any other platform. But word on the street, according to a source that came to our show and spilled some tea, they will be discussing this during the season. They will be talking about it. Drew Sidora sits down with another housewife and talks about this. So this will be a part of the season. And if you saw the Tamron Hall interview, Tamron, we're not going to talk about Donald Trump? Okay, never mind. Cyber. She does talk about possibly going to the reunion, because she's like, I haven't sat down for any interviews. I haven't, she hasn't told her side until now. This is the first time where she's telling her side. Okay. So I want to start off by taking a listen to this interview. Okay. And I will be stopping and starting to share my thoughts and opinions. Okay. Hey, Adrian. Oh, what a cute baby. Whose baby is this? Whose baby? I'm assuming yours, Adrian. Says, OMG, screaming at the top of my lungs. I can't believe I'm on Kempire Live for the first time. Finally. I know y'all booked and busy. Y'all have busy lives. All right. Let me get into this because it's late and I want to go to bed. All right. So I'm going to play some of the interview. Okay. And we're going to unpack and we're going to react. Okay. All right. So this is the interview that Kenya Moore did this week with Tamron Hall. Tamron, what's up with the coloration of your show? It's always so yellow. Sorry. Let me go.
I was never under suspicion for revenge porn. I never, ever, from the network, their mouths exactly, you were never under investigation for revenge porn. That is something someone put on their Instagram along with law.
I'm going to pause this. Okay, I'm going to pause this. An employment place, an employer is not going to investigate revenge porn, because revenge porn is legal. So that would have something to do with if Brittany Edie had filed charges against Kenya Moore. That's what it would have been called if she had decided to file charges. She did not, Brittany Edie. So an employer is not going to investigate revenge porn. They're going to investigate, did you break any of our policies, our codes of conduct? And if you remember, LoveyScott.com had the exclusives said that they believed, based off their investigation, Bravo's investigation, NBC Universal, that Kenya had broken a code of conduct, broken a policy that Bravo has. Remember, with the reality TV reckoning, those policies were recently updated as well. I'm giving you the full picture, okay? I'm not picking a side, okay? Let's continue.
To point a finger at me for something that was completely a false narrative.
So why aren't you on the show?
I'm not on the show because we started filming and this is a pivotal season for Real Housewives, and they had a lot of new girls. And as you said before, I was one of the few that survived. And we were really excited to get the season started. And some of the new girls, as in the past, they come on and they're trying to make a name for themselves, especially when they're not really showing up.
But that's a part of the franchise,
That's a part of
no
the
one
franchise.
wants to see a boring Housewives episode.
Exactly.
And so some of the things that come on, people are keeping it spicy for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you go too far, and that's what happened, we were having a filming and things took like a really dark turn. and toward me. There was a young lady who was new and she just was poking the bear. And everybody knows, the saying that I made up, don't come for me unless I send for you.
Right.
And that means simply, I mind my business and
right.
I don't start anything. I respond. So during this taping, the young lady escalated it to the point of tearing off mics, screaming all kind of obscenities at me and threatening me. I felt threatened.
So let me pause here because I have to be fair to this person, Brittany Edie. She has nothing on her Instagram about this. I've never met her.
It's been deleted.
There's nothing on her Instagram about this.
Yes.
We reached out. She did not respond to her. And I actually don't want to litigate her actions because I do believe people don't get to respond to pick how you respond.
They do not get to choose how you respond.
But you have to be accountable for how you respond.
100%.
So whatever, which I have no tape of, I don't know what happened. You've explained to the audience that there was some escalation and some things that went on there. But going to your reaction to it. So you're alleging this thing happened between you, the two of us. You think her behavior or alleged behavior was because she wanted to make a name for herself on the show. Okay, I don't know any of that.
Right.
Take me to the salon because I'm all proud because you have a new salon. You're opening this new business.
Yeah.
And no one is talking about you opening their business. They are reports that you have.
It overshadowed it.
You overshadowed it.
Yes.
This is what happened. They are saying you had these pictures of her.
Yes.
What I will say, what I appreciated Tamron doing in this interview is holding Kenya accountable. I know that they have a friendship. I don't know if it's a deep friendship, but I appreciated Tamara holding Kenya accountable in this interview like she just did there.
Let me tell you what happened. So from that night where all of this stuff happened and there were threats in my direction and I felt very concerned. I told the producers, I'm concerned, I'm scared. And I kind of feel like they said, oh, we'll take care of it. And it didn't feel like it was taken care of. They actually made me feel like I was being like a Black Karen. Like, here Kenya goes again. Nothing really happened. They were just...
Not a Black Karen. Not a Black Karen. So you also remember, if you recall my reports, because we had multiple reports on this Kenya situation before she departed this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. One of my reports, I told you that allegedly, and look, I wouldn't be surprised if someone fed this to the blogs, but there was a report out there that Brittany Edie had threatened Kenya with the pow, pow, pow. We then heard mixed reports that there was never any pow, pow, pow on set, scene. I don't know if there was any investigation into that. However, there was that rumor out there that Brittany Edie had threatened Kenya. Okay? All right.
Or something. I don't take threats or the way that I felt. You can't invalidate my feelings. And it was a real concern for me. I'm a single mom with a beautiful child that if anything happened to me, no one would be there for her.
So you felt threatened by some actions that happened?
Yes. And she repeatedly said, or it was said, that you don't know who I am. So I didn't feel like I was being protected, and I took matters into my own hands. I did my research on her. I found a lot of information, especially in the, explicit world, with a few clicks, with people helping me. I didn't get things sent to me, photos or videos that I did see.
Pause. I get it. Other housewives do this all the time. They investigate each other so they can put it on the show. This makes me also think, I think the show has gone too far and the series has gone too far. We have continuously seen over the years, if you've been following Real Housewives, more and more housewives do this to a point now that it's reaching levels that you could get yourself in legal trouble, and it's become really toxic. So I'm just thinking about, so you spent your time researching this woman because maybe you guys had some sort of argument. And yes, maybe in the yesteryear, that was fine. And that has been an argument we've been having with all of you that have your opinions on whether or not Kenya should still be at the network. What was allowed 5 years ago, a year ago, is not allowed now. As I said to you guys before, the reality TV reckoning really forced Bravo and NBC Universal to update their policies and procedures. We reported on that. They've updated those policies and procedures. But I believe even 5 years ago, they had that in their policies and procedures in regards to codes of conduct. Okay.
That were her. And I said, okay, if no one else is going to step up for me and protect me, I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to tell everyone what I found out about her. It's a receipt. And before I joined Housewives of any franchise, 5 years in, we made up the term receipts, right?
Yeah.
If you find dirt on someone or somebody is messing with you, you come back with what? A receipt. I found a valid receipt found on the internet.
So you knew that Bravo was recording your...
Yes, it was
salon.
during a taping. Everyone signed waivers. It was during a taping. I didn't stand out on the corner, posting anything. It was during a taping. And we know, even with...
does that make it different? Even if you weren't on the corner posting this photo of Brittany Edie, you're still posting it in front of a bunch of people that aren't on the cast. They're there to be a part of this filming, and they're seeing this. So it's not like you're just showing this to the girls that are on the cast. You're showing this to a bunch of strangers and media that were invited to your hair care event. Okay.
That has happened on the show, they blur things out. So at the end of the day, I knew that they would likely blur it out because whatever it was that I found, they didn't like the receipt. It was explicit, and they didn't like, I found a lot, but I only showed one.
Okay, so at
the giggle, the laughing, excuse me. This is not funny. Let me just play that part back.
Even with nudity that has happened on the show, they blur things out. So at the end of the day, I knew that they would likely blur it out because whatever it was that I found, they didn't like the receipt. It was explicit, and they didn't like, I found a lot, but I only showed one.
So she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. I found a lot, but I only shared one. Okay.
Okay, so at the salon, you have these images up that you say you found on your own.
I pulled them out at some point.
So they were up. At some point, you pulled them out.
That was one part of it, yes.
But they're up.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you assumed that they would be blurred out when this aired.
Of course they would. They can't show
because they can't show this.
Yes.
Were you building a moment? I mean, I know you said the other person was trying to make a name for themselves, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Were you trying to have a Kenya moment doing this and it backfired?
I don't think that it's a Kenya moment. I live my truth. You're
the shade assassin.
I'm the shade assassin, but my moment is my life. Right. You know what I mean? So I don't need to create a moment. Right. There's a difference.
Which surprised me because I know, again, we have a lot of people and friends in common, and I know how TV works. Mm-hmm. I know how to produce this show.
Yes.
I was surprised by the level of aggression in this because that didn't seem like you.
Listen, in hindsight is always 50-50. If I could do it all over again, I believe the photos were very distasteful and I elevated the situation. I've elevated situations before, so and I've taken full accountability for the things that I've done. I am sorry for what I've done. I didn't have to take it that far. But when I felt threatened, I've never had a child and be in a situation like this.
Okay. So she says that she felt threatened. So she apologized and she felt like she went too far. So you saw that was the clip that was going around earlier today. So Kenya Moore did this interview with Tamron Hall for those that are just joining us. And she expressed and confirmed basically what people were trying to deny. Team Twirl was like, no, that's not it. Blah, blah, blah. Even Kenya Moore denied it. So Kenya Moore posted on Twitter back when this all went down. I want to remind you what she said when this went down. So Kenya Moore on Twitter said, I would never engage in revenge porn. I have never distributed private images or footage of anyone nor solicited images owned by others to use to threaten or blackmail. So she read the definition of revenge porn. Okay. She says, I have always been vindicated. I can't talk about story even with people planting fake news. So the reason why she says this was because Brittany Edie posted a couple of posts, but one that we can recall, Brittany Edie said, thank you to everyone who has reached out to me about what took place at the event yesterday. She says, I'm still processing the nasty, low, disgusting, vile things that was done to try to hurt me. Bullying and revenge porn is never okay. Britt. Look, Brittany Edie has remained mum on what went down after posting that on Instagram. She has not talked about this any further. And I'm assuming that's because Bravo has asked her not to talk about it. Also because we are going to see this play out during the new season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that wasn't the only thing that Kenya Moore had to say in this new interview with Tamron Hall. So she talks a little bit more about her suspension and the possibility of her returning to the franchise. And she confirms that she is still an employee of NBC, Universal, Bravo, and she still receives a check. Okay. Do you think that Kenya Moore, or do you even want Kenya Moore to show up at the reunion? I mean, if they're going to share, look, I'm going to answer the question. I feel like if they're going to play this out as a storyline, I think it's only fair to invite her to the reunion. I think this interview is her way of trying to get back into Bravo's good graces, because I heard a lot of things from behind the scenes and it looked like Kenya was going to go in a Nene direction, allegedly. But now it seems as if she's tucked her tail between her legs and is ready to make amends. And I wonder if that's because we saw Nene make amends with the network. Just asking. I'm not saying that's the facts. I'm just saying it's interesting. It's interesting because I was hearing, and you may have heard too, lawsuits were being thrown around allegedly. But in regards to Kenya's suspension, so there were rumors that Kenya Moore was fired. Okay. But I told you, if you're a connoisseur of this channel, in Hollywood, they're never, first of all, Bravo, NBC Universal is never going to come out and say that they fired anyone. They have come up with this new term, we put this person on pause. They're not going to say any of that stuff. They're not going to say we fired her. They're not going to say we didn't renew her contract. They're not going to say we suspended her. First of all, if they completed an investigation, and I'm sure that they did because this is still a place of employment, they're not allowed to comment on these types of situations. It's an investigation. All right, so let's take a listen to what Kenya had to say in part 2 of her interview with Tamron Hall.
Live with Real Housewives of Atlanta, star Kenya Moore talking about the fallout from her suspension from the upcoming season of the show that's caused her life and her business to really be in turmoil. Kenya's here talking in a daytime exclusive before the break. We heard you say, I'm accountable for my actions. I apologize. Yes. You felt that you were reacting at that time appropriately. But, hindsight, they say, is 20/20.
Yes.
That said, now it's in the chatter in class. You have a number of businesses.
Yes.
And you've been worried about how this is going to impact your business.
Well, I've had people go out of their way, predatory bloggers who have stalked me, who have put out rumors, who have created a false narrative on how.
Who's stalking you, Kenya? Just asking.
Businesses are. I built Kenya Moore Hair Care over the last 12 years with my own money, with my own, passion. And it became a very successful brand. I am in over 5,000 doors right now. And I've had people, thank you. I'm my own partner, me, myself, and I. And I have had, from this falling out, people thinking I was engaged in revenge porn, started to complain to some of the retailers.
Because I know when we spoke a couple of months ago, there was at least one retailer talking about pulling the product from the shelves.
Yes. We still don't know where we stand with them, but
Pause. So you may recall there was a report, okay, that Kenya was being pulled from Sally's shelves, okay? Then Kenya came out with that video saying, oh, she went into one of the Sally's and she's like, we're still there. And we told you, at least when we reported on it, it wasn't saying that it wasn't on shelves. We literally went to the website. You could still get Kenya Moore Hair Care at Sally's, but they were saying they were trying to sell all the product before the end of the year. So Kenya in this interview confirms that those rumors were true. Even though she did those theatrics on social media trying to be like, oh, it's no longer on shelves, and she's being like a ninja trying to get into the Sally's. And it's like, it's still there. No one said it wasn't still there, Kenya. Just pointing it out. Just saying.
good God is.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. We still don't know where we stand with them, but this is how good God is. I got
product from the shelves.
Yes. We still don't know where we stand with them, but this is how good God is. I got 5,000 more doors coming up next year. So, it's just, it is a reality show. And it's interesting how much vitriol that I received from people thinking that I was involved in revenge porn, which I never was. And I was never accused of that from anyone on the show or the network.
Are you still in contact with Bravo about potentially returning?
Pause. I got to pause this. She says she was never accused by anyone on the show. Hold on, let me bring so y'all can see me. She says that she was never accused by anyone on the show. However, Brittany Eady, who you shared this intimate photo of, says that's what you did. So you were accused by someone on the show. Maybe not production, because that's not their jurisdiction. They're not going to be like, it's revenge porn. That's something that you would litigate, okay? They're not going to be the ones to say that. They could say that you broke company policy. That's the terminology. But Brittany Eady did accuse you of revenge porn. And we're not going to sit here and argue and whether or not it was. She's not being charged with it, so it's unimportant at this particular point. But some might say, and look, some of the attorneys, feel free to call in. I'm going to drop the call-in link for members on the community tab, and then a live chat. We got over 1,000 of you here. Let's get to 300 likes, and I'll drop the call link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts. Okay. All right. Andy says, Kempire, yes, people said that her hair products were removed from the shelves. I'm talking about what I said. I'm talking about what I said. I don't know what the other people were saying, but I'm talking about what I said and what the reports were out there. But I'm talking about what I said. Okay? All right. Let's continue.
On camera?
I've had some conversations, and you know who is on the show or the network?
Are you still in contact with Bravo about potentially returning actually on camera?
I've had some conversations, and you know who has been such a great support system for me during all this? Andy Cohen. He has called, he has checked on me, he has given me advice. And I feel like he's a really good friend, and I just appreciate the support. And so many people at the network, that was my family for 12 years. I love them, and I feel like they love me. It was just a really unfortunate situation.
I've seen you at BravoCon, and you walk in and all the fans, and it seems like even though it's a reality TV show, and there always seems to be a camaraderie. People fall out, you fall in. That's why people watch it. I mean, but this seemed just in a different space.
It's in a different space and a different time. I think, unfortunately, for the network, it's probably a decision they didn't want to make. I didn't feel that we were seeing each other's side. I didn't think that the investigations were matching up with what actually happened for me. And so we decided let's take a break for right now.
Should break right now. Are they still filming this current season?
No, they're done filming.
They're done.
Yes.
But you could pop up on like a reunion show.
I could.
Would you say yes to popping up on the reunion show?
I think it's important to have my point of view because I haven't done interviews. I haven't had my say. And so that's a little bit strange for me. I'm here today because you asked me to come to tell my side of the story. And I appreciate that because I feel like this is a safe space. It's always been a safe space and I trust you. But it's unfortunate because I started off as a housewife, longest running on this series, and now I don't have a voice.
You're not the longest running housewife on the series. Maybe technically because Kenny had left for season 16, but no, that wouldn't have been you. But she also thinks that she created by Felicia. So, okay.
And that's really hard to
Well, you always have a voice because, listen, you find your way to that Instagram live. I heard loud and clear what you were saying. I mean, I'm honored that you're here today because it's the same thing. I remember when you were here the last time and I asked Kenya, I said, what would you say to someone when they go on a reality show? She paused and everything was in the pause. I always tell when somebody pause and take a deep breath because people have had great businesses come out of it. They have had a lot of things, but marriages have ended.
Yes.
Scrutiny. I mean, it was supposed to be a little, as Johnny said, a little kiki fun. Right. And then
it wasn't
dark.
Fun anymore.
And I've told you, I stopped watching after an altercation on the show, on one of the reunion shows, and I never could go back because
I know which one you're talking about.
It really did.
It made me cry, and it was my toughest year because I went from...
That's when Portia dragged her at the reunion, just to remind you guys.
USA to being humiliated in front of the whole world. And I didn't want to go back. My first year, I didn't want to go back. And I keep finding my way because I feel like the good outweighed the bad. And now that I have a child to support, and, you know, I feel like the most unfortunate thing for me is that this situation was created. I escalated it. And that wasn't the proper response. Mm-hmm. However, when I look at my daughter and I have to explain things to her, and I don't want anything to get convoluted with my legacy, with, you know, what mommy's purpose is.
Pause. Okay, Kenya. And look, I'm not saying that people cannot have redemption and forgiveness, but where was this thought of your legacy when you decided at your hair care grand opening, which they edited out last season? So you had your second opportunity. And I said this back then, I was like, in some sick way, did you think that this would guarantee that they would show your hair care spa? Were you thinking about your legacy then? I'm just asking. Look.
In life. And I don't want her to ever be confused about what my heart is and what my intentions are, because they're always to protect her. I was never protected as a child, and you know that. I never had a mother to protect me. I never had that relationship. And I finally have an opportunity to do that with Brooklyn. And no matter what happens to me in my life, I'm going to always protect my child. And maybe it wasn't the right response, but it was from a heart that is pure.
Okay, so she's making this now about protecting Brooklyn. That's why she reacted the way she reacted to Brittany Eadie, confirming that the rumors are true, despite her downplaying or switching or playing with words that this is not what happened, okay? But multiple sources said that that is exactly what happened. Look, we understand where Kenya Moore has come from. We've seen her story. We know her mother denied her in the worst way, and we feel for her. However, that does not excuse this type of behavior at your big age. And again, I look, when it first came out, y'all know, go roll back the tape. When this first came out, I said, no, Kenya, when y'all media take out, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. I was like, Kenya Moore would not do that at her own event. She might do that during a girls' trip or at something else, or she'll show up to your event, Brittany Eadie's event, and bring the poster board. She's not going to do that at her own event. Kenya's smarter than that. Apparently not. Apparently not. So for how many months, when we were reporting multiple sources, this and that, a lot of people say, that's not true, that's not true, that's not. Well, now your leader is confirming that it was true. And we're not going to sit here and debate, was it revenge porn or was it? She's not being charged with revenge porn. So we can sit and debate all day, is it considered revenge porn or is it? We're not going to do that. She's not being charged with anything. But did she get suspended? Well, Tamron Hall confirmed that she was suspended. She confirmed that. Was she fired? No, she wasn't fired. Okay. Oh, Funky says, now, oh, damn. Okay, I'm going to apologize on behalf of all of y'all. Funky says, all of y'all owe MTO, Media Takeout, an apology. They get it right sometimes. Well, I have to say, in my coverage of this, I did give them the credit. You know what we do over here all the time. We cite our sources. So Media Takeout, I apologize on behalf of all of them, for not believing y'all. For not believing y'all. Because eventually I got there and I believed y'all and I cited y'all. But every once in a while, look, a broken clock is right at least twice a day, right? Anyways. I say all that to say, let me drop the call-in link for all of you that are in the live chat. We're almost at 300 likes, guys. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We did get a couple of super chats that I want to say thank you for. Sin, thank you so much for the super chat. Sin says, I believe the interview was strategic and she'll be back on the show, especially next season. Major clue was what she said of Andy. I don't know if that's a guarantee, Sin. I definitely know that this interview was strategic, without a doubt. There's no way. They're also promoting her children's book with her daughter, Brooklyn. Brooklyn was on the show as well. That was a cute segment that they had with her as well. Definitely think that it was strategic. I don't know about that Andy part. Here's the thing. A lot of these folks understand that Bravo, Andy, NBC Universal will never speak out. They will never be like, I don't talk to her. I haven't talked to her. They're never going to say that. I'm not saying that they haven't spoken, but I've told you, if you've seen my coverage of the story, Kenya Moore's relationship with NBC Universal has been on thin ice, even before this. So this really kind of sealed the deal for her. Not saying it's impossible, especially if they're going to be talking about her throughout the season. Seems only fair to have her say her piece. It would be interesting, the fact that she has not been a part of the entire season and she comes to the reunion, kind of like a friend of. Kind of a friend of. She does say that she's still under contract. Yeah, because at the top of the season, she signed a contract. So I wonder how much of that she has been paid. I highly doubt that she was even paid her full salary because, they're paid by episodes. And who knows how many episodes she'll be on. This happened early in the season. And also they had to pay for Phaedra. So the budget's not that big. Thank you, Sim, for the super chat. Jocelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. She says she needs just to twirl back home. Jocelyn, come on now. Come on now. Okay. All right. Live chat. I'm going to drop the call link for you guys. We're almost at 300 likes, but we have over 1,100 of you here. I should actually make it a lot higher. But like the video if you haven't already. It's easy and it's free. And thank you, Judy, for the reminder. Don't forget, guys, the Kempire After Dark live experience is coming to Los Angeles next week, November 20th. Go get your tickets today. More information on that show will be available in the description. Then we're coming to London. I can't wait. I'm planning all my London stuff right now. We're coming to London for the Kempire After Dark, a live experience, our first international tour date. Go get your tickets today for that show if you haven't already. If you are in London, near London, want to be in London, will be visiting London, go get your tickets. Shout out to all of you that have already gotten your tickets. Meet and greets are available for LA and London. DC, we're coming to your city in January. We're starting off the new year right. Coming to DC. Go get your tickets. There already is a low ticket alert for the meet and greets and for the premiere seating. More information on all three shows for the Kempire After Dark, a live experience, will be available in the description. All right. All right. Okay. I didn't drop the call-in link. Please hold. I'm going to drop the call-in link right now. Okay. All right. Members, the call link is available for you on the community tab. All right. We have Janaki backstage. We're going to bring her up first. Janaki, are you there? Oh, wait. All right, there we go. How are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you. This is my first time. I'm excited.
Hey.
So I was just thinking about how beautiful Kenya Moore is. However, I also want to note that Kenya Moore is trying to balance her energies, I believe. Yin and yang, light and dark. And I think we all...
black and white?
You know it. So I just think when she go dark, it blacks out. And she's justifying it by saying, I'm a single mom. I got to fend for my child, or however she's justifying it. Well, I think the girl really did try to threaten her or something like that. So I just think she's just struggling with that. And I think we all I know I have. So I just think she needs to take a salt bath and twirl in some salt bath or something. Salt bath. But she really needs to balance those energies, because at this point, you're not helping your child, you're not helping your business, and you're not helping anything. Okay, bye. Love you.
Thanks, Janaki. Bye. I love how she did it quick. She's like, bye. All right, we're going to get to some more calls, guys. We dropped the call link for you guys. You got Barry backstage. We're going to bring Barry up next. Barry, what did you want to share in regards to this Kenya Moore interview on Tamron Hall?
As much as I'm Team Twirl Kempire, I kind of felt like she did it, but knowing Kenya and her behavior, Kenya's reactionary, and as bad as that is, she doesn't do things in a vacuum unless poked. So not that it justifies what she did. It was still gross. And as a business person, why would you do that at your own event? But I kind of want to know, what did Brittany Eady say for Kenya to react that way? Because we know where it ended. How did it start? So that's kind of what I want to know. And Kenya's PR team has obviously given her great training, because she thinks she can spin her way out of this with semantics. But I hope her relationship with Bravo is still good and she can get her job back.
Yeah.
I don't think she did anything worse than Cedric. Accusing someone of attempting drugging and harming is not the same as publishing pictures that were already out there. So, but her timeout is justly deserved.
Okay. So you would like to see her come back in season 17?
Season 18. Season 18.
Want her to sit down for another season. Okay.
The repercussions need to be felt. Cedric should go and they should get their money back. But I would prefer Kenya to come in season 18, so she can know that there are limits to what you can do. Like the stuff in the past was cute, was funny. This was not. This was like, oh God, why? Yeah, why? So,
and this is a member of Team Twirl.
I'm Team Twirl. I was always a fan. I still am, but I can't rock with this. So
I hear you, Barry. Thank you so much for calling in.
Have a good one.
You too. See, I like it when the fans can be logical. Like, you can like someone, but when they're wrong, you need to call them out when they're wrong. Like, I've liked Kenya over the years too. I'm not team anybody but me. But when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I told you when I first heard the story, I was like, Kenya did not do that. Y'all are lying. MTO, you're lying. And then more and more stuff came out. I was like, oh. All right, Hayat is backstage. Let's see what Hayat's going to say now. Hayat, what's going on?
I promise I will not be as messy as I was earlier.
A mess.
I need you to come to Toronto, but maybe it's for the best. But anyways, Kempire, honestly, Kenya, it was so sad to see, because I do enjoy Kenya for the most part. There are some things that she escalates, and I feel like it's so much for the show, and I just want her to be herself more often. But she's playing in our face. You're telling me if somebody threatened me with a pow, you're saying my direct idea is going to go look up things that would antagonize them? That's what I'm doing when I have a kid? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Good point.
I'm just saying, she just needs to go her little round, do the traders, come back after, you know how they do. Pretty much it. But thanks, Kempire. Thanks for gracing us with 2 lives. Yay!
Now I'm tired. Right before I got on here, I was like, I'm a little tired. I don't know if I can do this. But here I am.
God bless you.
Thank you, Hayat. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye. All right. I see a couple of you trying to call in, but you're falling out, calling in. Maybe something's going on with the call-in link. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't think that you're going to see Kenya more on Traders or anything NBC Universal. I think if she is being put on a timeout, it's universal. Like, it's not just for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just don't see her showing up on something else, especially if you're being suspended. I don't have to say allegedly anymore. She confirmed it on Tamron. I feel as if that it's the suspension. It's going to be across all of their networks and everything. So we shall see. I mean, I would love to see Kenya more on a show like Traders, but Traders for this season, what's coming out in January, is already filmed. So it won't be for this one. So maybe for the next one. Sierra, we're going to try and pull you up. I know you were having some issues backstage. What's going on, Sierra? Can you hear me?
Yes, I've been Kempire. I'm fighting for my life. Can you hear me?
Not fight for your life. You sound as dramatic as Kenya.
Okay, amazing. I was trying to come up. I just wanted to call in and say that Miss Nene has been vindicated, okay, because she said that Kenya Moore was weird on the show. She has issues. You proved it. She is not a nice girl. And it's there. So just totally vindicated. I also have to say that Andy Cohen, he's a Gemini. He's going to want to talk to you. He's going to want to stay in the mix. He's not staying in the mix to be your friend, to be helpful. He just wants to stay in the mix with Kenya. And that's it. Just in case if they do want to bring her back, you said she's been on ice with NBC. So I think it's still up in the air. And I think it will be really interesting to see her come back as a friend of on a reunion when she's been a housewife for, I don't know, 10 plus seasons. So I'm here for it. Nene Leakes, thank you for telling us decades ago when nobody listened. And that's all I called in to say.
Thank you, Sierra. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. Well, I don't recall if Nene has spoken out about what happened with Kenya. I don't think so. Because I would have reported on it. I wonder what Nene has to say in regards to, especially now that Kenya has confirmed that what the streets have been saying went down at that hair spa grand opening is actually what happened. So I wonder what Nene would have to say. Because Nene's back into the good graces of NBC Universal. As you know, she hosted the after show for the Emmys a couple of months ago. And everyone was like, not Nene being back. So I can see Nene being on Traitors way before Kenya. Again, if you were suspended for, okay, I'm not going to say, it's definitely not revenge corn. They're not suspending you for revenge corn. That is not in policies and procedures, okay? That might be in the code of law, but it's not in policies and procedures. Adrian says, I doubt Nene would say anything. Well, if you ask her, she'll say something. Just say it. And no one has asked her. If you get Nene, ask her. I want to hear what because Nene never steers away from answering a question. So it wouldn't shock me if Nene would respond. I kind of want to know what she thinks. I think she might be like, well, I told y'all a long time ago. Okay. All right. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you calling in, participating in the live chat. Shout out to our Kings Guards for holding us down in the live chat. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch, Twitter, and of course on Facebook and YouTube. We appreciate you. If you're watching the replay of this, and I know you're probably mad that you missed the live. This was very last minute. We had some breaking news. This is why it's important for you to have your notifications on, why it's important for you to follow me everywhere, because I will notify you in those certain places. All right? All right. All right, guys. Don't forget, I will be coming to Los Angeles on November 20th. That is next week. So get your tickets for the Kempire After Dark live experience at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood now. And then I'll be coming to London. I'll be in your city December 8th for the Kempire After Dark live experience, first international show. So get your tickets for that. Don't miss out on that. I get it. The holidays are around the corner. And you're like, I don't know if I can do it. Do it. Do it, because when will I be coming back to London? Not in the near future. I'm just saying, once I do this show, come on now. All right. So make sure you get your tickets. And then, of course, we're coming back to Washington, D.C. on January 24th. Ticket information is available in the description. Shout out to all of you for being here. I will see you all in the next one. All right. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.